What's good, YouTube? This is Mugen, bringing it back for another R&M Entertainment discussion. Once again, I'll be your host for this segment, and joining us today is Brown Bear,
What up, world?
Birdman,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, or I'm going to have to start an OnlyFans to pay my bills.
and Zero.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
And with that out of the way, let's get things started. Discussion today will be the fourth installment in the MonsterVerse series, and that is Godzilla vs. Kong. I guess I could lead with this question. Who here is familiar with the MonsterVerse movies?
I am, except for Skull Island.
Yeah, I did not see Skull Island. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty casual when it comes to these movies. But yeah, like I said, I did see this one. So
Yeah, I've seen them all. I mean, it's just been a while though since I've seen Skull Island, so I don't exactly recall all of that. But like Zero, I'm kind of casual with all this stuff.
I know my history with these movies. Well, let me just say my history with these monsters, King Kong and Godzilla. I go way back with a lot of them. The original movie, my grandfather lent me the copy of his VHS that he recorded off TV. So I saw King Kong and Son of Kong when I was really young. And I've been like practically a lifelong Godzilla fan since I was like 7 years old. So I've seen all the movies. I'm pretty familiar with them. They're always making new movies. So whenever a new one comes along, I start really getting back into the franchise. But I have a long history with those movies, and I'm a big fan.
So, quick, I guess, background on where it came from. Mugen helped get me into some of these films. So I am caught up on all of the old ones and all of the new ones, except for Skull Island.
A lot of people not seeing Skull Island. They must have missed the train on that one. But yeah, it's all good. I mean, this movie, it really does focus on Kong a lot. He's really led to be the protagonist in the movie, and Godzilla is more of the antagonist of the movie.
So in our current MonsterVerse that we have, Godzilla has primarily been seen as the protag. I mean, or the good guy, or the good monster to root for.
Or the anti-hero in a way.
Exactly, yeah. He takes on that mantle up until the point where we need him to play the antagonist when we got Kong in. I don't remember I don't exactly how they portray Kong in the original, but Kong for the most part has been seen as, depending on the film, the good guy or the bad guy, depending on what you want.
Most of the time in his movies, he's meant to be a sympathetic character. Whenever you see him, is usually in chains, or he's brought to civilization against his will. His entire character since his creation in 1933 has always meant to be very sympathetic. And since there's only been one Kong movie and 2 Godzilla movies, it only makes sense that they would focus a little more on Kong's story this time around. The human connection that he has with the little girl, with Gia, like that's something that also is a trait of Kong. He has, well, normally he has like an affection for a human lady, namely a blonde girl that he wants to capture. Like he always has like a screaming girl in his hand, but this one, he forms more of a bond with a little girl, and it's more genuine. I feel like it's more personable, and makes Kong very sympathetic.
Well, so we spend the bulk of 3 movies plus all of the lore behind the Godzilla films focusing on Godzilla. So having a current gen Kong movie outside of Skull Island to help flesh him out a little bit more, it feels like this is the way that they kind of had to go to establish a little bit more about how these guys are getting together and where they fit in the MonsterVerse.
Moving on to the other title creature, Godzilla. It was actually kind of cool to see him as the antagonistic force, which is something that we haven't gotten to see in the MonsterVerse movies so far. It was a little bit like bringing him back to his roots, because thus far in the MonsterVerse, he's played up as the anti-hero, or the Batman, or someone who's there to bring balance. You see from the very first trailer of the movie that the military is attacking him, and everyone's afraid of this monster. And it's something that I really wanted from these movies. Like, it's cool to see the good guy Godzilla and like the anti-hero, but when everyone really thinks of Godzilla, you see him destroying buildings and fighting tanks and just causing chaos. He's a very chaotic monster.
They really are trying to return a lot of things to form in this movie. They really did take a lot of care in representing Godzilla how he originally was back in the 50s movie. He was seen as this force of opposition against people, the antagonistic character. So bringing some of that back is nice. Some of the callbacks that they did into the movies, some harken back to the original Kong film. So some of the maneuvers, they're nice little Easter eggs that you can catch on to.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on, a lot of the human characters in these MonsterVerse movies, they kind of, I guess the main complaint with most of them, at least the main complaint with, I guess the critics, is that we focus way too much on the humans. You know, like the first movie, we got a lot of cutaways when the action was just about to start happening. We start cutting back to the humans and seeing what they're doing, and that really rubbed people the wrong way, and so they try to compensate that a little bit more for King of the Monsters. However, I guess it was still a big distraction. Even though they added a lot more monster fights, they were still trying to focus more on the human drama that was there. People complained, and they said, you know what, less humans the better. And I feel like the studios really kind of took notes of that and just went straight to the action. It's very tightly paced. Let's just get to the monster action.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, nobody's going to see Godzilla vs Kong for the human aspect of it. Like, especially somebody who's like a casual fan, like me. Like, I'm going in to see two big monsters just swinging on each other. I don't really care what Millie Bobby Brown is doing. I just don't. Sorry, I just don't. But I felt like they did a really good job. I don't know. I felt like the human side of the story was like kind of a little bit of like comedic relief, you know, at times. Just like
in a way,
like they're like, you got to take a break from the fight. Let's have a little bit of comedy in here. I mean, it's really, that, and plus they're telling, you know, the story about Kong and Godzilla. Like they're giving you a little bit of like, you know, lore and history, and you know, just kind of moving the story along between the fights.
Yeah, all I seen was 11, bruh. Like that's all I saw. Like, I was just all 11, man.
How can you not see 11 when you have Millie Bobby Brown in this crazy dank van with her friend, just like gonna go like chase down some mysteries? Like it's a similar format, you know.
They're in the mystery machine, and seriously, like it's like it became like the Goonies all of a sudden. At least with Team Godzilla, really like Brian Tyree Henry's character, I think he was the most amusing of all these of all the new characters. And they tried to give him a little bit of a backstory. You see something about like his dead wife, and he pulls out the Chekhov's gun, where it's like this drink that he has in a gun holster. Yeah, this when I know shit's about to go down, like I'm just gonna drink the rest of this. And you knew that was gonna play into the movie somehow. But it's basically like they just said, you know what, we really don't need this. We need to get to that monster action as soon as possible. Once the fighting starts going down, like that when Godzilla first tracks down Kong.
It's on sight.
Yeah,
Kong is on that ship, and then you just hear Godzilla coming, and Kong is like, "Oh crap! I gotta get the chains off real quick because I have to fight like right now." And Godzilla's just coming for him.
We throwing hands like that. We throwing hands right now.
Like I said, and that's literally all I want. That's all I wanted from the movie.
And you think about other versus movies that are out there, you know, like Civil War or Batman v Superman. Like a lot of those like big fights that you really want, they're not till like at almost the end of the movie or maybe in the middle, but then have like a round 2 later. This right here gets you right to the point. Like it's not but maybe half an hour or so, maybe not even that, and we're already in. Like they're already going at it. Like
I remember with my watch through, I was like, oh wait, I'm only like 30 some odd minutes in. I was like, I thought we were like at the climax. Like that's literally how fast you get into the fight.
Yeah, this movie knew its audience. They kind of listened to, or at least the studio kind of listened to a lot of the past criticisms, and this movie tonally feels a lot more consistent than maybe something like King of the Monsters. It knows it's ridiculous. It revels in its ridiculousness. And if I was watching this at 9 years old, like I would be watching this movie like over and over and over again. Like this would be something that would be right up my alley, especially with the Godzilla series. It's no stranger to going into that absurd, ridiculous realm that allows you to have fun with what's happening on screen, especially in the late show era where Godzilla just pretty much becomes a superhero. It's all made with good fun in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really what you kind of want with these movies. Like, if I'm trying to want a movie where I'm going to have to think and figure out all kinds of mysteries and all kinds of stuff with the plot, I'm gonna watch like a Christopher Nolan movie or something, or a Jordan Peele movie. Like with Godzilla and Kong, like I just want them to fight.
You just want
That's
them to
it.
throw
Like, I just want
hands.
them. I just want them to fight, destroy stuff, and that's what you get with this movie. Like that's really what you get. I mean, they also throw in, you get into the Hollow Earth stuff, and you have the little subplot there and the little mystery kind of stuff there that they're doing. But again, for the most part, even with that stuff going on, they're still just fighting, and it's great.
That was the next thing I wanted to touch upon, the Hollow Earth. It's something that they alluded to in some of the past movies like Kong Skull Island and even King of the Monsters, but this is the first time you actually get to explore that place. And my goodness, is it a spectacle? I mean, logic out the window, but wow, it's like an alien world, but it's still Earth, like and underneath the Earth, and there's so much to do with inside the Hollow Earth that you're just mesmerized by it all. And when Kong goes into his lair, I was like, this is like a Destiny cutscene. All of a sudden, you just see like these stairs and like a throne room, and I like that they don't really explain a whole lot. Like you just kind of like you have to make assumptions. Like this is, I'm guessing, where Kong species and Godzilla species had their big ancient battle in years past, and that's where Kong acquires his axe. I guess we can really go into the spoiler section now because I'm already touching on it, but spoiler section from here on out.
The Godzilla scale axe thing was so dope though. Like Kong just picks it up and they're like, what is that? And it's like a scale from, I guess, one of Godzilla's species, but it's like an axe. And I was like, this is amazing. Like he's gonna fight him with this freaking axe, and I'm all for it.
Man, them boys, I mean, he went at it. It was like he was just chopping Mecha Godzilla up, bro. I said, all right. Like, again, I'm all with Birdman. Like, it was hype. There's just no other way to put it. Like, it was just hype. You had to have gotten hype from that moment. And
you know what? I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. Let's talk about the big reveal. The big reveal, Mecha Godzilla. Okay, so
I think we all saw it coming though. We all saw it coming.
Depending on who you ask. Zero, did you know Mecha Godzilla was going to be in this film?
I did not. So yeah, I mean, now, like I said, I am pretty casual. But like I said, I've watched a few of the movies, so it's like I know of Mecha Godzilla. So the little hints and stuff that they kind of threw in towards, it, like you saw it coming, like Birdman said, you saw it coming. But to see it and like see him in action and everything, it was like, man, like that was again a sight to see. It was pretty cool.
Having watched the other sets of films, they follow a format of the big four. You have Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, and Mecha Godzilla. So thinking into the MonsterVerse, it seemed like there wasn't really anywhere else to go with it, because they did Mothra, they did Ghidorah, and then like, okay, well, they're going to make Godzilla before they end this, maybe? But then we didn't really get any confirmation until we saw it. Oh, okay, there he is.
Yeah, some people who followed the background of these movies, I know there was a spoiler leak when his toy came out about a year ago. I never really looked into it, but I already knew in the back of my head Mechagodzilla is likely going to be in this because they need kind of a big bad. They need like a doomsday to I guess bring it all together. Everyone, of course, would make their jokes like "Save Martha" or "Save Mothra," but like they're Batman v Superman. Like,
how do you know that name?
Exactly.
Those memes are killing me.
Yeah, they did those memes quite a bit. But also, let's talk about the winner since we're already in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
Team Godzilla ended up taking the W on this one, which was kind of a surprise given the fact that, well, like honestly, Godzilla should take that W. But in a narrative sense, it's kind of a surprise because they brought Kong to be kind of the underdog protagonist. And usually when they do something like that in these movies, he ends up finding a way to come out on top.
See, I like how they did it. So essentially they fight 2 times. So you have Godzilla fighting Kong out in the water and just absolutely just beats the shit out of Kong. Like out here like trying to drown him and just beating his ass like all over the place. And then they're fighting in the city and Kong's like, okay, yeah, now we're on land. Now what you gonna do? And I got this axe now, so I'm gonna whoop your ass. And he has his moments in the fight, but then, still ultimately loses. But then I like the fact that they bring him back in to help out Kong at the end to help him beat Mechagodzilla, because Mechagodzilla was just OP and just destroying Kong. So it's like, yeah, Godzilla wins the 1v1 against Kong, but Kong kind of comes in to, save the day, so he does get his moment too.
I really like that part where it's like, Godzilla took the W on that, but they gave Kong something to do, like at the very end, as far as like they gave him the winning blow. With the help of Godzilla, of course, he powered up his axe and kind of Thor style, Kong aimed for the head. So
and then pull the Sub-Zero fatality out of that.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a moment where Kong, he just ends up shoving his axe down Godzilla's throat briefly. That is definitely a callback to the 1962 film where he just grabs a tree and starts shoving it inside Godzilla's mouth.
It's a great way to pay homage to the original. It's not as goofy in this one, but it's still a little Easter egg. I love that standoff that they get right in Hong Kong, like right before they go to fight number 3. Is they have that stare down. And it's like Godzilla like slams his tail like let's go, and then Kong like slams the ground and he's like let's go, and then they start in, and it's a great way to kick that off. Is just that power play right there.
Oh yeah,
for real. I forgot to mention, I'm like, hold up now, Kong, you really about to fight this creature? Did he not just like drill a hole into the earth and wait into the hollow earth with his atomic breath? Like, you don't want those hands, bro. You don't want those
here in a hollow earth, and I look up and there's a big ass hole in the ground because Godzilla is just like, no, like I'm like, okay, you got it, man. I'm staying down here.
Is anyone gonna fix that hole?
You got it.
We just have a hole in the earth now.
He said, no, I'm gonna jump out here and I'm throwing the hands. Oh, he hit him with the Superman punch at one point off of like a building. I was like, hell yeah. I was rooting for Kong for a second.
I was also rooting for Kong, but that's because the movie demands it.
Yep, I was like, I knew he was about to lose. So.
Okay, so I was going for Godzilla. I was Team Godzilla, but I'm wild, dude. So I'm a wild.
That chaos, right?
I've been Team Godzilla for a long time. I was repping Team Godzilla, but man, this movie did make me be like, hold up, Kong ain't too bad.
Yeah, I was hoping Kong might get him for a second there, but I knew in the end it wasn't gonna happen.
It's even on his territory. Like I'll give it that the first fight they were like on water, so Godzilla obviously had advantage in water. So that's that was for the first time. But the second and third times that they fought, it was like it was their own land. That's Kong's territory. He had agility options. He used a lot of it.
I mean, he was using. Yeah, he was throwing. He was winning. He was
using his
arguably winning the fight. And then Godzilla was like, you know what? I'm Godzilla. Let me go ahead and just.
But then he got kicked in his chest, and that was it. That was it.
Tell you, at the end, like the walking away, he was like, okay, I give you some respect for helping me kill Mechagodzilla, but you literally had to have a King Kong sized defibrillator like bring you back to life. Like,
for real,
I murdered you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, I don't think you lose anymore. Like that was a loss. Like
those people had to bring you back to life. So just remember that. Like, if you ever want to,
if you want to hands again, you had a lot of help. That act, that machine, like, bro, I'll beat you 1v1, and if it's water, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. I'm gonna drown your ass.
King Kong on the first fight in the water, like he was drowning him and shit, and King Kong like was after they turned off everything and Godzilla dipped, he was just sitting there laying on the ship like, I almost died, bro. Like, what the hell?
He had to rethink his whole life. Hold up, buddy.
It's like, why did y'all bring me here?
What's wrong with Buddy? Like,
man, I just want to go home, man. What the hell?
Real. It's like, I just want to go home. Like, y'all got me out here fighting this big ass lizard.
Really, the whole story is about a giant monkey who just wants to go home, sit in his chair, and have his thing. Like, that's it. That's
really all he wants to do.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You're not lying.
He just want to claim his throne and sit on that throne, and then Godzilla had to come in and like mess all that up by blowing a hole
in it.
Okay, I will say one of my favorite moments is like when Godzilla finally caught him with his atomic breath. Kong was like dodging it, like just trying to like avoid it, and then he got hit in the back, and then you see a close up of Godzilla. He has that like shit-eating grin,
the smirk,
straight up,
totally smirks right.
Straight shit-eating grin, man. I'm like, oh, it was great. And that's all I really could have asked for from this movie. Just like entertain me, and sure enough, it was entertaining.
couple
They're
of
fun.
questions that I had on my side because I've actually done a rewatch recently of this. First, I want to point out that Apex or whatever that tech company is has probably the best Wi-Fi that I've ever seen in movie history ever. I want to point out that I have problems at home with my phone in certain parts of the house. However, I'm supposed to believe that some crazy cyber company can make Wi-Fi that goes all the way to the center of the earth and then back with no problem. A clean upload of whatever that thing was.
I know
No
who's
issues
that
whatsoever.
Verizon? Who run that?
Who does that carry?
Yeah, who's that carrier?
No,
'Cause
they
They got
need
that
them.
fiber.
I need them, bro.
For real, man. Forget AT&T, man. I'm going with them, bro. I have too many problems, man. Trying to play with watching it cut out. Meanwhile, this guy
Right.
can like, get signals from the hollow earth. Like, man,
All right. How much you pay for that?
you're right, for real.
they got a payment plan.
Something else I was noticing. So how the Mechagodzilla link works is they're siphoning energy from one of Ghidorah's heads
God,
into
I
this
almost
like
forgot to mention that.
Oh my
this
god.
this mental
yeah,
link.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
actor is supposed to be Ken Serizawa, which is supposed to be the son of I forgot the first name of the old Serizawa.
Ichiro Serizawa.
Ishiro.
Played by Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Ren Serizawa, and honestly, like, if you didn't know that he was supposed to be his son, I mean, you just didn't know because the movie didn't address it. That's probably another thing that they just straight up cut out because we're like, man,
Yeah.
we need to get to this monkey versus lizard fight, man. We don't need this backstory.
Pretty much, because I had no idea.
You had no idea. I'm sure
didn't
Zero
know.
had no idea either. Like,
Well,
yeah, that's supposed to be the son,
And
but
really,
they did
in-
nothing with it.
in the 2 lines of dialogue that they gave him, I mean, even he saw some of the writing on the wall, like, hey, this maybe isn't a great idea. Like, maybe
Hold up now.
I'm getting some bad vibes on this one.
Bro, and then the Apex leader Simmons, he was like, "Getting the robot." I'm like, "All right, this is Evangelion, like getting the damn robot, Shinji.
Right.
You gonna pilot this
I don't think
Mechagodzilla?"
this is a good idea. Get in the robot.
And then he got messed up.
Yeah,
So, but what I noticed in the second run through is that the ship or the Mechagodzilla, I thought he was inside the Mechagodzilla, but
no,
but
he
he's
was
not.
inside.
He's
He's inside the Ghidorah head.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
the head is somewhere else far away. So someone had to design this head to have enough juice to be able to talk to Mechagodzilla, and then enough to fry him, I guess, because that's a
Yeah.
thing.
Hey man, he's an alien, bro. Like
It's true.
Ghidorah, you could do all sorts of crazy things with him, and I'm
Right.
guessing like the Hollow Earth energy reawoken like Ghidorah's essence, and like he just kind of took over. So it's really, even though it's Mecha Godzilla, it's kind of like Mecha King Ghidorah because it's that third head, which fans of the MonsterVerse call him Kevin because that's what the director called the third head. That was kind of dumb, Kevin.
Ah,
so-
Kevin.
So it's Kevin who took over Mecha Godzilla, and
Kevin
and
says, time to shine.
time to shine, time to get my revenge. And he was trying to kill Godzilla the way, like, I guess like every monster does this little finishing move. It's just like open the mouth and just blast right into the mouth. I'm like, man, Godzilla did that in his first entry in the MonsterVerse movie, and Kong just King Kong always breaks like the jaw of like the T-Rex or whoever he's fighting. That's just kind of his thing. So it's like there's a lot of action where like they're just trying to rip each other's mouth open. I think that's just kind of funny.
just like you were saying, that the jawbreaker that Kong does, and even what Godzilla was going for, they were going for kill shots, man. They weren't going for no like draw on this
That's all
match.
Mecha Godzilla was. It was just straight up kill shot. I mean, they got the skull
Yeah.
crawler. They were harvesting skull crawlers
Yeah.
from Skull Island and then bringing them over and then using them as test subjects. And he's like, "Up, time to hold them out and blast them," right down the center. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, we was definitely not on no like Goku type stuff where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna start off in base form real quick, and then I might move up to Super Saiyan, and then it's like, no, we going straight to Super Saiyan Blue and blowing you the hell up. Like that's how it felt, bro.
For real.
I thought it was weird how they have like the people in the city are just like, they come out there and they're like clapping or whatever because Mecha Godzilla's defeated. But I'm like, dude, like how many people just died in this fight?
Right.
Something we don't address.
Like,
It's
gonna
not
address
usually
the
addressed
city
too
is
often.
destroyed. Like, who's paying for all this? Who's gonna fix all this? Like, this whose insurance covers all of this?
Who's gonna fix the bridges?
Oh man, oh yeah, for real.
Godzilla just tears everything up, destroys the city, and just slinks back off into the ocean, and he's just gone.
Yeah. So yeah, I would really hate to be an insurance adjuster in any of the Godzilla films or the MonsterVerse, because you know that just if you fix it up, you know they're just gonna come back and destroy everything. So what's the point? One more callback that I thought of that I'm sure Bear kind of noticed too, was when like Mechagodzilla got taken over. I guess that's kind of a trope with Kiryu in the Millennium Godzilla era movies, where like in that movie, like Godzilla was the trigger, and it kind of like reawoken Mechagodzilla because he's based off the bones of the original Godzilla. And in this movie, it's like Ghidorah was the trigger, and then that's kind of like what takes over. So it's kind of like an interesting little callback as well.
Yeah, lots of good little things for some older movie fans out there.
But yeah, fun movie.
There's not a whole lot of movies out there that I would recommend directly for theaters, but I would say definitely if you have the chance, see it in the biggest screen possible. See it in the theaters. See it if you can't see it in theaters. Get the biggest screen in your house going. Get the surround sound going. You're gonna want the full experience for this. Yeah.
I can definitely back that up. It's meant to be seen on the big screen. This movie is meant to be just kind of like an end game where you're supposed to cheer and root for your monsters and just have a good time. And I'm excited to see where things go. Maybe there's more movies, maybe there isn't. There is going to be a new Skull Island anime that is confirmed that continues the MonsterVerse, and it's going to be animated by the same people who did the Castlevania series. So I'm interested in that. But as far as like big Hollywood budget movies go, like it's still kind of up in the air, but you never know where the future leads. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing more of the MonsterVerse.
I wouldn't either. I'd love to see them explore Hollow Earth some more, and even just bring back Kong and Godzilla to just fight stuff. Like, I'm always down for that.
If they throwing hands, I'm in.
Exactly. I'm there.
Yep, I'm in.
But I guess that'll do it for this movie. That was our just general discussion about Godzilla vs. Kong. Glad to have you guys with us.
Again, thanks for clicking on this video, guys. We appreciate you listening to our thoughts and stuff. We want to hear what you guys thought of the movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Whatever your thoughts are, we really want to hear from you guys. This has been R&M Entertainment. Thanks for clicking, guys. We're out.
Peace.
Peace out.
Later.